Hey, good morning. Hope everybody's doing well. I have this toaster here that we've had, oh man, for a while. This is my wife's toaster before we got married, and we've been married since '97. So, anyway, it went out the other day. Today is July 1st, 2025. Went out about 4 days ago. And it's pretty simple. You have this fire retardant, I guess you could call this a card, and then there's another one over here. So there's two of these, right? Because you got two slices of bread. And so this wire, the wire is wrapped around it, and then it goes to the next one that's over here, and then it goes to the next one that's over here, and then it goes to the next. So there's four of them that are side by side, and the elements heat up, and that's how your bread gets toasted or burnt if you leave it in there too long. And what started happening was we'd engage it, and nothing would happen. And so the first thing I checked is, well, let's see and make sure that the wires have continuity, right? Continuity just means that the wires are connected. So take my meter here. Let's see what will happen here. And so I'm on the 200 ohm scale on my digital multimeter there, and I'm getting like 14.2. So that's telling me that there's no breaks in that wire, which is good. So we're good there. Then the next thing I'm checking is, okay, is there a break in the AC coming in over here? So we just kind of put one there. I believe that one's this one. Okay, it's going to be the top one then. Okay, maybe not. It's possible it broke. Or maybe I'm definitely getting something there. Maybe the wire is bad over here. It's possible that it's gone bad. Interesting. That's weird because a little while ago, let me check the other one. Check this one. Let me go over here. Yeah, so there it is. We definitely got continuity on one side. So the other side's broken. Well, I think I just figured out, I just figured this out. A little while ago when I checked, I was definitely getting a reading. And I guess when I took it apart, it moved this guy right here. That's the one that's doesn't have. Wow. Okay. Well, I've definitely found the problem. Now I just got to figure out where the break is. You know, is it here? Right here? And this part right here, the reason why it's kind of bent like that is because that's the strain relief. Strain relief basically, it goes through this little guy right here, and then goes into over here, and that's so that you don't pull the wire out. This stops this from being pulled out. All right, well, you know what? Let me try something. Let me do this. Let me engage it and see if I'm getting at least from here to over here, and then that'll tell me this is still good. Because it looks like there's been some arcing going on right here. Let me see if I can zoom in there. See if I can zoom in. I'm using a different tripod here. Let me zoom in. And you'll see there'll be some black stuff there. Let me zoom in as best that I can. Let me get this out of the way. So you can see there's a little bit of black stuff around there. That may be normal, but I was going to clean that. But I think I just found the issue, and it's got to be with the plug or with the wire. So, but what I'm going to do now is let me back up. Man, why is this thing not? Doesn't seem like it's focusing. Let me back up. Come back over here. Back up some more. All right, let me do that. And basically what I'm going to check is, again, I'm going to check to see if there's continuity from here to here, and then from this other guy to this one up here. So let's find out real quick. It'll be a simple, just put it right there, and put this one over here. And you know, I can even turn on my audio. But I got to engage it, so let me engage it over here. Oh, this is going to be in the way. Hang on. That's going to be in the way, but let me engage it real quick. All right, let's see. Y'all still seeing that? Yeah. So this guy presses down, and it engages these guys over here. So let's see what will happen here. Yeah. So I'm getting. That means there's a continuity there. Now let me go to this other one over here. So definitely getting continuity because the wire's good. So yeah. So we're good. So it has to be, the issue has to be this wire right here. So I got to figure out where the break is. Now how would you do that? How would you figure out the break? Well, let me show you. You're going to take, you got to take some really sharp ended probes like these. These are real sharp. Excuse me. And what I'll do is I'll put I'll put the black here. I'll figure out where the wire is coming in over here to this guy. And then you're going to take the real sharp, the red one, and you have to start piercing. Oh, I'm in the way there. I got to start piercing the wire to figure out where it's broken. And if it's right here, then I can fix it fairly easily. If it's somewhere down over here, way far away, or who knows, it could be over here somewhere, then I'll just replace the end here. So let's see if this will work. The first thing I got to do is figure out, see, that's okay. Let me do this. I need to unengage this thing because that's giving me a false. There we go. All right, so let's see where we at. Okay, that's that one. So this side, sometimes one of these guys is larger than the other. And so if you look in the socket, the outlet socket, one of the little slots is larger than the other. Kind of means it's polarized, but really in AC, kind of not really polarized. All right, so it's that one right there. That's where I'm going to put it. And let's see what will happen here. Nope, it's not there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pierce this. And let me get my lead out of here. It's all kind of tangled up. All right, so let's see. I hope everybody can see that. All right, let me just start right here. Maybe it could be right here where it's all being crushed. Oh, and you got to be careful not to poke yourself because, yeah, it hurts. How do I know? Because I've done it before. So let's see if this will give us a beep. Wow, it's not giving us a beep at all. We should be getting something there. Huh. All right, let me try something. Let me do this. Ah, okay. Excuse me. So that means that the brake has to be, man, somewhere over, you know, it's definitely not here. It's definitely not from here to here. So it's got to be somewhere in the wire. You know what? Let me try over here. Like, let me just try right here. And by the way, look, it is one that has a white mark and the other one doesn't have a mark. I don't know if y'all can see that. All right, let me grab this guy. Interesting. All right, you know, it's possible it's right here. All right, be back in a second. Okay, so let me go back. So I checked from here to here on the strain relief, you know, because it's all crushed right there, but it's good. Watch. Okay, that's great. So then what I did, I said, I'm going to go down the wire, and I think I did it halfway through. I can't even see where. Somewhere in here, let me see. Oh, got a lot of crumbs on here from the bread. Let me see if I can find it here somewhere. Where is it? And that's because I'm wearing some peepers. Let's see. Oh, well. Here, let me just do one right here. I'm going to do one. Can everybody see that? I'm going to do one right there. Okay. So it's good to there. And then I said, you know what? Let me just go check over here. Right here. All right. Great. Let me check here. Nothing. The brake is somewhere in here. Nothing. Nothing. Now watch. I'm going to move it to right here. And I'm going to check right here. Oh. So it's good from here to there, and then from there to right there. Come on. Good. Good. Watch it beep. And nothing. Oh, now it's beeping. But there's a problem here. Yeah, let me put this back over here. Way back over there. See? So the brake is somewhere in here. It's got to be like right where this strain relay is here. Has to be there. Because if we do this, come on. Yeah, I'm in there. And if I come back over here, let me move in a little bit. I'm going to move my finger so that I don't get, yeah. So it's definitely right in here, the brake. Right in here. Wow. Okay. So that's how you go about checking things. You know, you do have to have a multimeter, and basically I have it on the lowest resistance here at 200. I don't know if y'all can see that. It's on 200, and then I have the audio, so I know that it's telling me, hey, there's continuity, and it's going to kind of tell you how much resistance is in the wire and stuff. So what I need to do is just go by an end here instead of throwing this away. It's still working. It's got to be at least, let's see, 30 years, 20, at least, it's at least 20, 25, 26, 27 years old. We got married in 97, so, and this was my wife's, so. All right, so I'm gonna go Home Depot or Lowe's, they're not a sponsor, buy one of these guys and cut it right here, hook up the end, and then hopefully it'll work. All right, see you in a bit. Okay, so what I'm going to do with these contacts over here, what I'm going to do with the contacts there is I'm going to use this stuff called deoxit, and it'll take off all the carbon buildup. More or less, it'll take it off. Now, if there's pitting on the little bumps there, it's really not much you can do at that point. You would have to replace the entire switch or this whole thing, but you know, who knows if you can even buy this part to keep this thing functioning. But you know, if it was, you know, if you're getting a high resistance from here to here, like a super high resistance, then yeah, it's probably the pitting. It's not making real good contact. I don't know, at that point I guess you would just buy another one. So, but I'll come back and I'll put the end on here, and then hopefully it'll work. All right, see y'all in a bit. Okay, so I've sprayed some of this stuff, deoxit, on there, and let's see if I can do this without getting my hands or paws in the way. Let's see if any of it, if it pulls off. See, so it's kind of pulling off some of the, I can't even see what I'm doing. Yeah, it's pulling off some of the carbon buildup. And you kind of do both sides. And so this is how you clean them. And you try not to leave too much of the stuff on there. You can go with the other side and kind of mop up. Especially, you know, if you use it on connectors and stuff, you gotta kind of be careful. It doesn't melt anything, but, and that's it. So it's clean. I don't know if y'all can see that. So, all right, I'll be back with hopefully with the plug in and everything, and should be working. All right, later, bye. All right, so I'm thinking maybe this is going to work a little bit better. I don't know. Let's find out. Yeah, that definitely worked a lot better, and it's not gonna be pulled out. So. Okay, so what I did was I just cut a little bit further down, twisted the wire, and then folded it, and I just need to get another one of these. Okay. So let's do that. Now, the reason why you don't want an insulated one of these guys in here, because it gets extremely hot in here, and it'll probably melt that. So that's why you don't want an insulated one in there. So I'm just taking an insulated one. I'm removing this guy. I'm taking an insulated one, and I'm removing the insulation here. And it should work. And like I said, worst case scenario, I can always solder them, you know. Now, if this doesn't work, if it's, you know, let's just say my troubleshooting was not dead on, then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to buy another one, and I'll cut these off and I'll put some alligator clips on the end of these, and I'll use those, you know, whenever I'm testing. You know, where I need to test something with some alligator clips on it with AC. All right, so that's on there. Okie dokie. Let's crimp these guys. Oh yeah, that's on there really well. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to test it. I'm going to go ahead and put them in. You know, I'm going to plug it in and see if it works. All right, I'll be back. The issue was right here somewhere in here, where it let go from, you know, the bending and all the years and stuff. And like I said, I just had this this cord there, and you know, I was thinking about going and cutting this off and then putting one of these on there. And I thought, well, I already have a cord. Let me just go ahead and, you know, crimp some of these guys on there. I did have some issues with the crimps. Apparently the ones that I put on there were a little bit wider, and so they were kind of slipping. So what I did is I took my needle nose and I bended these guys in a little bit, you know, on each side, right? Because they're like it's like this, and so I kind of bend them down a little bit more so that they could grab on, and they're on there. Yeah, man, boy, that thing gets hot pretty quick. Oh yeah, it's definitely hot. So it's working. So I'm gonna let that go, and now I just got to put it together. Okay. So it's working. So there's the fix right there. Hope you guys can see that. So, and they're on there pretty good. So, all right. Next time you'll see it, it'll be I'll put it back together, and then hopefully I'll be toasting some bread. Okay, see you in a bit. Okay, I put the toaster all back together. I'm going to just turn that on. We should be able to see the the elements starting to turn kind of red there. I put it on the fresh setting, so it should be on for, I don't know, a minute, maybe a minute and a half, and then it should pop up. But you can see where the elements are turning red there. So definitely the problem was at the plug end of the cord, and I just put a white one on there, and it's working now. All right, let's see if this will automatically eject here in a bit. There you go. Coolness. All right. Hope this helps out some people. All right, have a good day.